Say good morning. I gotta put her seatbelt on, her little harness that clicks back here into the belt, but I'm gonna let her ride in the front. It makes me nervous, but it's like her favorite thing in the world. But anyway, we're off to the vet. Gotta put our seatbelt harness on first, and we gotta take this off and get the buckle. But yeah, just thought I'd show you guys. Good morning. Where?
Across the street.
Oh, there's a bird?
That bird was like walking across the parking lot, like across the street part, and this truck was backing up, and it like backed up in front of the bird, and the bird just like stopped and looked up at the truck like,
I was walking here. We're at Home Depot to get our underlayment for the washing machine money. Was it the washing machine or the dryer we sold? So now we're here to get the underlayment. Are we getting the quarter round too?
maybe.
Hey guys, oh my god, it's so dark. The light's on this side, so if I turn it on, it's gonna be even worse. I'll just have to adjust this in editing. And I'm too lazy to get up and flip the fan on. I can't wear any makeup today. I took Amber to the vet this morning, and when I was sitting there, the towel that they had on the examination table, they forgot to change it out, and the last animal in there was a cat. So I'm sitting there in the chair right next to the table, waiting and waiting, and all of a sudden, like, I started feeling itchy on my face, and I felt like, I don't know if some of them are going to show, but they've gone down. Now my skin is just like ripply and bumpy. I started getting hives on my face, and I was like, oh my gosh, because if I have like hives on my face, that's gonna, like, I don't know, if I put on makeup or even just BB cream, that's gonna like mess up my skin really bad and make it worse. So then it started, we went to Home Depot, like you saw, right after I took her to the vet and brought her home, and then it started raining. But yeah, when I got home after we went to Home Depot, I went and showered. I'm like, great, because Justin has to cut the floorboards outside because otherwise it gets all over the garage and it's going to get all over the antiques we moved in there. So he's just got to have to do the cutting tomorrow, unless like it dries out a little bit later, but I don't think it's going to. The weather person like earlier in the week said if it rained, it was just going to be like a little 10-minute event and it would be fine. And now it's like 77% chance of rain in the forecast now. Amber did really good at the vet. I just wanted to brag on her. I told a lot of you guys before that she was an abused stray. And the dog catcher picked her up finally. But she was 6 months old when they finally got her. She lived on the streets her whole life, been abused, and then we adopted her through the pound. So she had a lot of issues when we got her. She had dog aggression, people aggression, just, she had a lot of issues. She never was mean to us. When we adopted her, Katie was living with us, and she was always gentle and sweet to Katie, but it was like everyone else, she would nip and growl at and be terrified of them touching her. So like over time, working with her, like training and stuff, it got to the point where people she's familiar with, she's okay with them touching her, and she like runs to them now to be petted. Newer people, it takes a couple times her meeting them to be allowed to touch her, and we're okay with that because of what she went through. We feel like people should respect that, she's not going to bite you or anything, just don't touch her. So anyways, like I was saying, the dog aggression thing, when we first got her, there's no way we could have had Ralph or any, we had our Chihuahua who was blind, and she did okay with her because Chalupa was so tiny. And I think being brought into this environment, she was okay, but bringing another dog in here would have been bad. But Chalupa was blind and she was old and she just moved around from place to place and slept. Like that was all she did. And Chalupa had a little attitude, so Amber never messed with her. She did like our rabbit, who also passed away right after our Chihuahua. She liked the rabbit. They never played together because, like, her breed, my brother's Kelpie tried to kill the rabbit at one point when it got loose where the rabbit was playing when I still lived with my parents a long ass time ago. So we never let them play together. They would play together through the cage, and my rabbit Lucky would give her hay, and then she'd run off and chew it. It was cute. But any other dogs, she had severe issues with. Dog parks, that was not something we could do until she got to know Ralph, and Ralph kind of helped her, and she had a lot of training. And like finally, slowly, we were able to introduce her to other dogs, take her to the dog park. But then we stopped going to the dog park because like several horrible events happened, and it just became an issue of like stupid people with, like, when Amber was being introduced to dogs, we're very cautious, we're very respectful of the fact that, you know, we didn't want to put another dog's like at risk. It was a very slow process, and it was never like her just going after dogs. It was like when they got too much in her space. So it was a very slow, careful process. But there was like, I think the first time Ralph and Crystal's boxer Pearl met at the dog park, there was this aggressive dog they brought in, which Amber was not this bad. He was growling and snapping, and they brought it in on a leash, which makes everything worse because Amber still has dog aggression. If she's like on a walk and some loose dog runs up to her, she's not going to attack it, but she growls and like back off, and that usually starts a fight. She doesn't like being approached when she's on a leash. So anyway, but yeah, so we stopped going because like that day I was there with Crystal, that dog that was there, like the people never should have brought that dog in the dog park, on the leash or not. Had they were like, oh, we're trying to adjust it. No, when you're trying to adjust a dog like that, that's aggressive, you need to bring a muzzle as they get adjusted for the other dog's safety. And the dog just walked past and he snatched up, and it was a huge attack. It was horrifying. And then there was like a lot of other strange incidents that happened. So we're like, we're not taking the dog park anymore. But anyways, the whole point of this is, so she got a bunch of stuff done today. When she goes to the vet, she gets muzzled. They put a muzzle on her for, like, she's never bit the vets, but she does nip at people that she doesn't know that touch her. It's never been like drawing blood, but you know, so they've always taken a precaution and muzzled her for the short time they examine her or whatever. And during, let's see, she got her lump aspirated. Just, they were doing the like 6-month check to make sure it was still just a fatty lump. She got her ears cleaned. She got her anal glands squeezed. She got her teeth examined. Like, I just, like, all this stuff done to her. Shots, tons of stuff, fecal tests, like just her annual check, everything. And halfway through the exam, her muzzle slipped off, and the vet's like, well, let's just see what she does. She was terrified and shaking like she is, but she let the vet like get in her mouth and check her teeth and all the stuff. Like, they've never been able to check her teeth because they've always muzzled her. And she just let the vet in there, and I was like in the corner crying. I was like so proud of her because she's come such a long way from being this like aggressive stray that we rescued to like the dog she is today. So that's my little bragging on her proud moment. I was crying, and they were just looking at me like, I'm like, you don't understand what this is, how far she's come, like, you know. So anyway, I think I'm gonna go to Hobby Lobby because they're having the scrapbooks are half off. I need to get some stuff for Jackson's like pregnancy scrapbook. But I tried to drive over there earlier, but the rain, and I was just feeling tired. Oh, I was getting so tired. A bunch of people have asked me about fibro, and I couldn't find the last comment I saw about it. Like, can I talk about fibro and pregnancy? And I have done a video on that. I'm doing it by trimester, so you guys kind of get the whole overview of like first trimester, second trimester, and what it was like in the third. And I've already done the first. I'm going to link it below. I'm not ignoring those comments. I just got really backed up on comments when Crystal had the baby, and I was like, for like 72 hours of like not sleeping much and craziness. And I kind of get overwhelmed if I try to backtrack to those comments, but I have done videos talking about it, and I'm going to do trimester videos. I just don't talk about it day to day as much because I don't know. I feel like when you've lived with it for like 10 years or whatever, it's kind of like, I don't know, not something you think to talk about. I don't know. That's just my personality. I don't know how to explain it. I'll try to figure out how to explain it in my next video, but you know, I might not talk about it day to day because I find when I focus on it, then not that I'm being negative, but it's just focusing on something that I feel like is a negative thing in my life. Like I'm focusing on being in pain all the time and all that stuff, and I feel like it makes things worse. That's why I do my like videos about it, but like day to day, I don't focus on it unless I'm like in a flare or having a really bad day. So I did say in the first trimester video, towards the end of the first trimester, it was about the same. Towards the end, it got worse, and it has stayed worse. But we'll talk about that in the second trimester video after I do that. But I just want to address that because several people had asked me if I would do that, and I have already started that series, and I'll link that one below. But yeah, I also wanted to address that. It's not that I'm just like, I don't know. When it's such a part of your life every single day, you don't think to talk about. Like with pregnancy, this is something I've never experienced. It's new. So like things happen. And I'm like, oh my gosh. But with fibro, it's just something that's become my life, you know, and I want my life to be my life. I don't want to feel like fibro is controlling my life. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know. I can't think of a good way to say it. Like fibro is it's not a small, I feel like it's a small part of my life, but I don't let it be my whole life. So, that's probably why y'all don't hear me talk about as much day to day, because I just feel like for me personally, it's just my fibro's gotten worse. And I feel like if I talked about it every day, it would just be a lot of complaining, and I'd rather be positive about it. So I hope that makes sense, but I'll link that down below for the first one. And when we get into the end of the second trimester, I'll do that one for you guys too. As far as we got with the floors, the underlayment is down, but yeah, no cutting wood today, not in this weather. It looks so strange with the red floor. It's changing the color of the walls a little bit. It's interesting. Justin's making fun of me because he thinks I'm too easily entertained because I have this lollipop stick, and I don't know if I can do it without laughing now. It makes the juiciest, grossest sounding fart noises. He thought I was farting at first. I don't know. I hope that picks up really good on the video. I don't know why I think that's the greatest thing ever. I feel like I could make a fart machine app with it. Oh my God. We went to, where were we? Hobby Lobby? Or something. We're in a parking lot, and this minivan turns in the parking lot. I can't. I already peed myself laughing about this. Oh, I lost my fart stick. There it is. Okay. We turn it's turning in the parking lot as we're leaving. And it's like the angle I got as it turns in and stops and we're passing it. The actual driver was hidden by the pillar, but he had his like chihuahua in his lap, and the chihuahua had his hands on the steering wheel. And I had this moment where I legitimately thought a chihuahua was driving the minivan because I couldn't. It's making my chest hurt. Okay. Oh, okay. I've been laughing too much. It's been affecting my asthma, and it's giving me like lung pain. But I legitimately thought that a chihuahua was driving this minivan, especially because like as it pulled up to the stop sign, the chihuahua like looked both ways. I was just dying because I couldn't see a driver. It was like there was no driver. And I just was like, when it first pulled up, I was like, what is that? What's happening? And it just started laughing for like a really long time. I don't remember. Justin thought he said he couldn't tell what was more funny, the chihuahua or my laughing. And then I was trying not to pee myself because, you know, sometimes when you're pregnant, you laugh really hard, you pee a little bit. I was focusing on not peeing myself. But when we actually got to Hobby Lobby, I went to the bathroom and I did pee myself. But I've been wearing pads just in case. So I was able to throw it out and be like, okay, I didn't pee on my pants at least. So when I came out of the bathroom, I was like, I did pee myself. I just didn't feel it because I was laughing so hard. Anyways, Justin thought it was ridiculous. You ever start laughing so hard you stop breathing? Like I do that. And then he has to be like, breathe, breathe. Like blow my face like a little kid. Breathe, breathe. It was bad. I laughed for like 10 minutes. I couldn't even talk. I couldn't even tell him what I thought I saw for like the first 5 minutes. I just couldn't stop laughing. And what's crazy about it to me is like, if a Chihuahua was to be driving a car, why would it be driving a giant minivan? I don't know why that really got to me either. It was ridiculous though. If you had seen it, it literally looked like there was no one in the car. Like there wasn't even a passenger. It just looked like there was a Chihuahua driving. And when he stopped at the stop sign, the Chihuahua looked both ways like he was actually driving and gonna like, I don't know. It was ridiculous, but that's what happened earlier. And now I have my fart stick. I kind of really like this. I'm in a goofy mood because of that now. But it's still rainy and we can't cut floor. It's wood, whatever. I don't know. And so I'm just going to end my vlog because I've been like blabbing a lot today. I can't remember if I said this earlier about Amber. I don't know why I'm second guessing myself. But I think I told y'all, did I tell y'all why she was tooth grinding? If I did, I'll just cut this out. If not, it'll be left in here. But I remember I started talking about like how good she did at the vets and stuff. But the reason I was worried that she was in pain was because she was grinding her teeth occasionally. And they actually said they just think that's from anxiety because she's very like nutty since I got pregnant. Not like bad, but she's just like super crazy and overprotective of me. And I think like she's worrying so much is giving her anxiety, which is making her grind her teeth. That's what the vet thought. Because she's like ridiculously paranoid about like every time I move and making sure I'm okay. Oh no, my fart stick fell. Anyways, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.